Welcome back to the Nafeesa Dangor Show, where we're definitely inspiring you this afternoon to get enticed in, of course, literacy, uplifting people, and changing lives for nothing but the better. And with that, I have one phenomenal woman with me on the line, Sister Faheema Patel. And let me just tell you a little bit about the Muslim Wonder of Women Foundation. They were established by her, by Mrs. Faheema Patel. She has embarked on a mission to collect and distribute a beautifully wrapped shoebox containing tons of goodies that will light up any child's day and fill their heart with joy. The Traveling Eid Shoe Box project aimed to bring happiness to disadvantaged children on Eid Day. Children from underprivileged areas, most of whom are mainly orphans and foster kids. The project, which is in its fourth year running, allows children to feel loved and gives them a sense of belonging. It's a powerful reminder that they are not forgotten and that they are valued and respected. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Shukran for having me, Sister Nafeesa.
Jazakallah for joining us on the show. It's always inspirational to see women giving back and uplifting in many directions. Talk to us about the Women of Wonder Foundation.
Muslim Women of Wonder Foundation is a non-profit organization, right? We're based in Gauteng, out in the NNL area. And we're basically an organization that drives for social change. Our aim is to create a better society for all. Most of my projects, as you can see, is focused on children, which really captures my heart. And I just love doing anything and everything for children. But then again, also I do a lot of work for women as well, women empowerment programs. We've been in operation for about 9 years now. And we are a team of men and women that give our time for the upliftment of humanity. My husband and my kids are a big part of this journey. And from day one, they've always been my right hand and my biggest fans. But also, they also have been my biggest sponsors of time with regards to from the time that the organization has been operating up until now.
It's nice to see the family get avidly involved in giving back. And I think that's what it's about. I always say, we all have some purpose in life, and it's about having to give back to others that actually uplifts us in the process.
See, definitely. It's so important to teach our kids to always give back. With all my projects, it teaches children to give back. With regards to the Traveling Eid Shoebox, it's a project that is aimed for kids to create a shoebox and to give back that shoebox to a child that is in poor conditions, that is underprivileged, that doesn't have. So it allows kids and it teaches them to be able to give from a young age, and children love doing this, especially in the month of Ramadan. It gives them that time to be able to give their charity, whereas they know they cannot do anything, but this allows them to be able to give back.
Most definitely. And I think it's a nice way to actually inculcate that, because a lot of the times we cocoon our children and they don't actually see what is happening outside of that cocoon and the reality of the situation that certain children, how they live and what sort of situations they're in. So I think this brings a little bit of light to them. So it changes their perspective and they grow up with that, having to be able to give back all the time.
Definitely, my kids are hands-on. They're very busy. They love doing things. When it's time to unpack, they unpack. Drop off, pick up, all those things. They're very much involved, from the youngest to the smallest. The eldest is 32 years old. The youngest is 8 years old. And everybody gets involved. I say to my volunteers, don't just bring yourselves, bring your kids along, get them involved. And everybody loves to partake, especially in the Traveling Eid Shoebox, which is a phenomenal project, people love getting involved because there's so many things to do, and especially because it's for our children.
Most definitely. Now, before we carry on, I see there's two messages that have come in for you, and I'd like to read it to you. The first one says, I would like to thank Appa Faheema Patel and her family for their amazing efforts by helping others in lockdown and sacrificing their own Eid to put a smile on the underprivileged face. So that was from one, I think somebody that was avidly involved with you. But I think it's important for people to understand what it does to you when you actually give back and you see those smiles on those little kids' faces. I think the fulfillment and the contentment that you get from that, you can't get anywhere else.
No, definitely. When my fulfillment and my contentment is seeing the child's face, the moment we give the gift box, we give them a little cupcake, and that just lights up a child's life. They've never seen those things in their lives. They've never received a gift full of good goodies and a beautiful cupcake. So, on a Eid day, we make that sacrifice to go out and, give the kids these things, and they just adore it.
So, where do you actually give these boxes out?
I can't hear you.
I asked, so, Sister Fahiba, where do you actually get involved with defining the need to see which children to go and actually give these gift boxes to?
Okay, what we do is I've identified 10 areas in the Gauteng, and we go to each and every madrasa in the area that we've identified. And last year we gave out about 3,000 each shoe boxes, so they were 3,000 beneficiaries. Unfortunately, this year, with regards to the lockdown, this project was not able to run because most of my sponsors were children from various schools. So we kind of had to opt and look an alternative, and we looked at giving the kids a eat goodie bag. I just had to do something, for the kids. So inshallah, next year we'll take the traveling eat shoebox to another level and get more schools and people
Mhm.
involved.
Yeah, most definitely. And I think, like you say, it was a very difficult period now, and it's nice to see that you're filling that gap in some way to try and just get them going as well. Because during this period, and I think it's not just the adults, but the kids have been also affected in a big way. The routines are different, the anxiety is there. So just a little bit of that gift and that smile gives them some form of hope as such.
Gee, definitely that was like so wonderful for them. Even having just to come out of the house a little bit and to be around people and being around other kids as well. Also, we had to maintain the social distancing. The kids had to sanitize, they had to wear masks. We had all those measures in place, and we succeeded, alhamdulillah.
Yeah, no, Alhamdulillah, definitely. It's nice to see that this has been taken further. What sort of support structures do you have? I mean, you were saying there were so many volunteers. It's nice to see that happening, especially, when I read about this Box project, I was disappointed that I only got to find out about it after Eid. Otherwise, I would have actually wanted to get involved in that. It's nice to see, children's faces light up when you give them these little goodies, as you were saying. And it's important to, of course, give back to those that are in dire need, and a little goes a long way.
I can't hear you.
Now, I was saying it's nice to see you getting involved in this because, with this Eat project, what happens is you're going out, you're putting smiles on those kids' faces, but that little also for them goes a long way. It gives them that hope and that faith, and it changes their perspective to see that there are support structures out there further from where they are.
Yeah, definitely. The kids the kids realize that they are noticed, that they are loved. There is someone out there that will come to us. Um, with The traveling each shoebox. Every year, the same kid that gets a shoebox knows that I'm going to get another shoebox next year. And whatever is filled in there just lights up their faces. And they know that sometimes my parents cannot afford to buy me a special gift this Eid, you know. Perhaps I don't even have a pair of shoes or pair of socks. And that is what we put in there. So sometimes we help the parents and it just fills the gaps, to light up the child's life.
Most definitely. I have a message for you, and it says the selfless sacrifice, the effort and time that Upper Fahima and her team give to this worthy cause needs to be applauded and rewarded. May Allah reward them well in both worlds. I urge the listeners to assist them in it whichever way possible, cash or kind. May Allah grant them the strength and courage to continue with their sterling work. Shukran. And this is from Brother Yusuf.
Wow, Alhamdulillah, that's such a wonderful message.
It is, and I think it's fulfilling to know. I think the fulfillment, as I said, about being able to give back to people that are in dire need and to see, just that little bit of upliftment happening. I think it means a lot to those children alone.
She definitely, children, all the kids that we give to, they come from very bad circumstances. Most of them come from very, very poor families. And um, to me, this is how I see it, that they've never received a gift bag, a gift box full of goodies. And this just follows their lives, actually their day of Eid, to make them realize that they are special and that there's someone out there that is there for us.
Yeah, I think it makes them feel as though there's someone out there that really cares and that would like to make a difference in their lives, even if it's in a small way.
See, definitely. And also, to all the kids that have put the gift boxes together, to all the schools that we normally get involved, for them just to see, I do share a lot of pictures on my Instagram page, my Facebook page, and a lot of my the sponsors, they do want feedback, so we give them a lot of feedback. So each school can see exactly where their gift bag, the gift box has gone to, and I can say for myself and the entire team, everyone is just happy about it. From the time the children um, put the gift bags, the gift boxes together, up until the kids receive those gift boxes. This is basically
It
a
must
charity from children to children, so it's just a matter of getting all the kids involved in the month of Ramadan, and this is what makes this whole project very special to me.
Are there other projects that you're involved in besides this?
Yes, we do. We've got quite a number of other projects. We run feeding schemes in various areas. We feed the homeless once a week in the Joburg CBD. We provide food, clothing, toiletries on a regular basis to those in need. A year ago, I embarked on a 10,000 book campaign. So each year we try and open up a library in an underprivileged area or a school that is struggling to basically open up a library. And then it's a stationery drive that we do each and every year. So every child that goes to school gets a stationery pack. And then
Wow, that's
currently,
amazing.
yes, and then my one of my current projects is it's in conjunction with Mini Miracles. It's called the Bags of Kindness Project. This is for rape victims. This project starts on the 1st of June and it continues until the 18th of July. It's basically putting together a comfort pack for rape victims, and we distribute these comfort packs to police stations and trauma centers for uh, for rape victims.
Sure, that is very interesting because I think there hasn't really been much of a support structure when it's come to that. So it's nice to see that you're actually reaching out in that way.
Yes, definitely. This is something, this is a topic that's always swept under the carpet, especially in the Muslim community. We don't discuss this much, not even on media, not even on social media. So I just thought this is a very important thing that we need to do. And as a Muslim woman, whatever affects another woman does affect me. So it's not something that I can leave out, and we need to do something about it.
Oh, most definitely. And also, what project that stood out, I think, for me the most was your 10,000 books campaign, because we were just talking to our other guest today and discussing the importance of literacy and how to get it out there. Because, a lot of the impoverished communities at this point in time, of course, do not have access to online. So, at least if they have those books, they can try and get going in some way whatsoever. So, it's phenomenal to see that you went embarked on that campaign prior, so that at this time, in this difficult time, hopefully they can benefit from that in some way.
Yes, definitely. And also, it's a little bit hard now because all the schools are closed. But inshallah, as soon as the school starts opening again, we'll continue with the project. We basically collect 10,000 books and we donate those books to schools that need it mostly.
Yeah, that's amazing. I've got a voice note that we'd like to play for you.
Assalamu alaikum. You have the lady from the Women Wonder Foundation on, and the work she's doing is absolutely amazing. I find that even due to lockdown, she was able to give back to the communities and make the kids well. So may Allah grant her khair and grant her more as well.
Wow, I think you have been creating a very positive impact, especially through this very difficult lockdown period. It's nice to see that there are differences being made. And, to all my guests, I was talking about the African word Ubuntu, meaning coming together, having to do things together. And it's amazing to see how people have come during this period, especially this lockdown period, and have tried to uplift and empower as many people as possible. And I think you're one of them, Sister Faheema, because there's a message that says Muslim Women of Wonder Foundation is a remarkable charity organization of life and spark. They do excellent community work. And I take my hat off to Sister Faheema Patel, as she is a true woman of power. Sister Faheema, are you still there? I think we seem to have lost her on a technical glitch. And it's phenomenal to see people giving back, especially during this difficult period of time. I think as we were speaking to Stacey earlier as well, there's been a lot more light shed on the situations that people in different communities are actually getting involved with, and the difficulties they're experiencing. But we're going to get Sister Faheema Patel shortly with us. We're going to go for a quick break. Stay with us.
The coronavirus outbreak as a global pandemic.
Penny Appeal believes in prevention being the cure, and we remain firm in standing by our commitment to support and help those in need.
The border is closed, so I'm very, very affected. So
they are lacking in the supplies.
I hope government can find a solution.
Our response is to provide hardship grants to those experiencing a loss in income in the months to come, and hygiene kits for the vulnerable at home here in South Africa and Syria and Palestine. Show compassion in the midst of crisis. Donate to our coronavirus emergency appeal now. Be proactive. Be aware. Help save a life. Donate today. Call 031 11 00573 or donate via www.pennyappeal.org.za. Penny Appeal. Small change, big difference.
Welcome back, and you're watching the Nafeesa Dangor Show, where we're definitely enticing you this afternoon to get involved in giving back. And of course, our topic was also literacy, trying to get people enticed into getting educated, because as we know, education creates sustainability, creates upliftment. And Sister Faheema is back with us. I'm sorry about that technical glitch, but before we left, we were talking about empowerment through 10,000 books and what it does for people. And as I was saying, it's amazing to think how much a book can just teach one person.
Gee, definitely. Can you hear me?
Gee, I can hear you.
Hello?
Gee,
Can you hear
I
me?
can hear you, Sister.
Definitely,
Yes.
I believe. Yes. Okay. Yes, I believe that is correct what you're saying. It is up to us to create those readers. It's important for women, for mothers, to be able to teach their kids to read. To take out that book, it's very, very important. There's a saying that goes that readers are leaders. And it's important to be able to teach kids from a very young age to read. Most of the underprivileged areas that I work with, they don't have any media centers or libraries. So this is where we come in, and we are able to give back to those areas, and automatically it uplifts the child's life. Education carries on. It makes things a little bit easier for them. Gee, alhamdulillah.
Shukr. And I think we lost each other somewhere along the way, but there was a message for you, and it says, Muslim Women of Wonder Foundation is a remarkable charity organization. They are full of life and spark. They do excellent community work, and I take my hat off for Sister Faheema Patel, as she is a true woman of power. And this is from Mrs. Kothar Kassam. Did you hear my message, Sister Faheema? Okay, we seem to be having a technical issue. I was actually reading out messages for Sister Faheema from many, I think, people that have gotten avidly involved with her. And also there is another one that says, Salams all, just want to add that working with Muslim Women of Wonder with the EAT project the last 2 years was truly amazing. Faheema is a lady who sacrifices her own family time and goes out there to help our kids in need. May Allah bless her and her family completely with only the best in both worlds, inshallah. Ameen. And there was also another message that has come in, and it says, Salams all, just want to add that working with, I think it is the same message that's being repeated there. So definitely making differences, and I think that's what it's about. It's being able to uplift people, and I think Sister Faheema is back on air with me. Assalamu alaikum, Sister Faheema. Are we connected now?
Yes, walaikum salam. I'm back again.
It's good to have you back. There's so many messages that I've been reading out. I think I'm going to have to repeat them because I really want you to understand what it means for people, knowing that you are giving back in many directions. And it says, Salams all, just want to add that working with Muslim Women of Wonder with the EAT project the last 2 years was truly amazing. Faheema is a lady who sacrifices her own family time and goes out there to help our kids in need. May Allah bless her and her family completely with only the best in both worlds, inshallah. Ameen. And then another message says, Salams all, just want to add that working with Muslim Women of Wonder with the EAT project the last 2 years was truly amazing. Faheema is a lady who sacrifices her own family time and goes out there to help our kids in need. Okay, I think that was the same message. They probably just duplicated it. But it's nice to see people getting avidly involved and of course changing their perspectives and knowing how important it is to give back. So I think if we entice them in many directions that way, very inspirational lady. And as they told me in one of the previous messages, you're a woman of power.
I don't know about that. My husband seems to think so too.
I would think so, and we'd like to commend you because the thing is, what you're doing is certainly phenomenal. I think a lot of the times when we, try to define what sort of aid that needs to go out and help people, a lot of the times the children, I think, get forgotten in the process. So it's nice to see that Women of Wonder has created this little goodie bag to be able to uplift their spirits, and of course give them hope to say, you know what, there is something out there for me, and I just need to keep the hope going so that I can, of course, empower myself in some way.
No, definitely. I believe that kids need a lot of love and attention. Um, I see a lot of kids being neglected, and it really breaks my heart. I go to places where babies have wet nappies, kids have been burnt in shack fires. Most little kids, up until from the age of 2, are queuing uh, in, for a bowl of food. And that makes me realize that our even though if they are not our kids, they will remain our responsibility. It is part of being human and humanity. And these are people, these are children that need our help. And if we can do something to make a difference, then why not?
So, what message do you have for other women? I think it's important for us to understand that, sometimes, like I was saying, our children get cocooned and we don't actually realize the reality of the situation out there. And it's nice to see them, learning to give back in these little ways, even if they just help make up these shoe boxes and fill the goodies in. It's, I think, already inculcating that giving back. So that they grow up with it as such, so that when they become adults, it becomes a norm for them to be able to give back.
Definitely. Um, that is where we fall in as mothers, as fathers, as teachers. This is where we instill our children to be able to give back. It's important that we teach our children that this is where charity begins. Charity begins at home, and from a young age, they need to do things for other people without expecting anything.
Most definitely. And I think it's about also teaching them how to be selfless, looking at people that are, of course, less privileged than we are, we'll put it in that way, and also being grateful for what we have and helping to uplift those that don't have it.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
What message do you have for our viewers?
Well, I saw on your poster. Your poster has woman power, and I knew that you were speaking across those lines. And my husband would always say, he calls me a Viking. Okay, I don't know why. You need to ask him that question. My father-in-law that just recently has passed away has said to me that he's never seen a more hardworking person than me. I guess I get the hard work from my mom because we were taught from a young age to work very hard for whatever we have. Um, but I believe that a woman is a full circle, and within her, she has that power to create, to nurture, and to transform. And a woman is a whole person, and with her, once she can be able to transform a family, she's able to transform a community.
Yeah, and I think I understand fully where you're coming from, because I think Nelson Mandela said something to the effect that if you empower a woman, you empower a nation as such.
Definitely.
Yeah, and what message do you have for people during this COVID-19 lockdown? It's a very difficult period. People are going through a lot of anxiety, trying to keep positive. I think the situations where you're working at now has probably gotten a thousandfold worse. So, what message would you have for people as far as dealing with that is concerned?
Look, as we know, the stats does say that the situation is going to get worse before it gets any better. All we can do is to stay indoors, wear your mask, and try and sanitize as much as you can. We need to teach our children that as well because they are young, the elderly as well. So a lot of focus should be placed on that. Whatever platform you're on, try and educate as much as you can.
Most definitely, I agree with you. It's so important, and I think education is one of the most important things. And I think, like we were saying, I was speaking to Stacey earlier, and we were just saying that there's this huge gap, especially now. I mean, we know the schools are closed and that, but the children that are affected the most are the ones in the impoverished areas, because they don't have access to online or Wi-Fi or any of that for that matter. And it's very difficult for them to keep in tabs with things at this point in time.
Yeah, definitely. Sanitization is a major, major, major problem here. Um, and whenever we went out from the period of the lockdown up until the last day of Eid, we gave out masks, we sanitized, we created that awareness, which was very important. Not only just to give out food parcels and to do our feeding schemes, we had to educate people to create that social distance, because it would put them at risk, puts us at risk. We all need to care about each other at this point in time, and we need to follow the rules and regulations.
Most definitely. And I have a monologue today that I want to read out to you that I think is so apt in today's times, and of course for stuff that you've been doing. It says, you all know, and this is Elizabeth Edwards wrote this, stating what she thought of herself. And it says, you all know that I have been sustained throughout my life by three saving graces: my family, my friends, and a faith in the power of resilience and hope. These graces have carried me through difficult times, and they've brought more joy to the good times than I could have ever imagined. And I think Women of Wonder is a little family going around enticing and encouraging people to keep the faith and the hope, and of course, the power of resilience as such.
Definitely. Thank you so much for those words.
I've been really taken aback by this, because I think, as I said to you before, that children have never been tapped to in such a way where they've been made feel so special. So we want to commend you on that, going out there, taking the time, being selfless, and of course giving back in many directions. And we want to wish you nothing but the best of strength. Allah give you the strength to be able to carry on with it, and of course all the successes that come with it. And of course, get more people avidly involved in what you do to be able to help you to reach out even more.
Inshallah. I mean, thank you so much for your well wishes. That is something that we need on an ongoing basis. We need people's du'as so that we are able to carry out what we do. It is only through people's hearts and the du'as that my mission can be completed.
Most definitely. Jazakallah for joining us this afternoon, inspiring us about Women of Wonder, the foundation itself, and of course about giving back in what you do. And I think that inspires others to be able to give back. And people during this COVID-19 lockdown are actually looking to give back, but they don't know where to go. So by us showcasing people like you never know who could join you, and of course add to that support structure as such.
Yes, people can follow us on our Facebook page, and it's Muslim Women of Wonder Foundation. They can follow me on Instagram. It's Faheema Patel at 123, or they can contact me directly, and I'll be happy to get anyone involved. Whoever would like to join us, they're most welcome to.
Yeah, and as they say, it's not just about the present, it's the presence. So that's
Definitely.
what you need as well, is people being there to be able to help you reach out.
Yeah, definitely. We always need people's hands and people's hearts to always make a project work. It's not just about the financial side of things. To get people involved is very important. Sometimes people are at home alone. They need company, and a lot of old people as well. They love coming out and helping us.
No, that's true. It's nice to see that happening. But Jazakallah so much for your time. And as I said, we wish you all the success going forward for the future. Allah keep you going from strength to strength, and bless you abundantly for all the amazing work that you are doing for these little human beings that are actually looking for that hope and that upliftment. So thank you so much. And we wish you nothing but the best. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
And that was Sister Faheema Patel. Phenomenal work, giving back to children. And I think it's important that we learn to look at those little children and some way, because they are our future. But from myself and the team, we have seemed to run out of time. Thank you for joining me this afternoon and allowing us to actually get into your homes and entice and inspire you to be able to give back firstly, and of course educate you to say let's get literate in many directions and encourage our kids during this lockdown period to start reading those books and getting the actual feel of it as well. So from myself, Nafeesa Dangor, and the team, Jazakallah, Assalamu alaikum, and I look forward to seeing you next week, Wednesday.